Sisters, and we are back on your screens. Of course, every Sunday at 5 p.m. we keep you entertained, informed, and of course we always make sure that you never got bored. Every conversation that you have at home, we bring it here and we make sure we give you the answers to it. I don't do this alone. My name is Rosalind Felly. Today I am here with the ever beautiful
Araba Kumsa
and Madame herself,
Nadulin.
So we have a beautiful guest with us.
We do.
And you know what? She sings so well. I love her to the core. People say she's Ghana's sister with us. You should see her. Her name is Jackie Impari. Hello, Jackie.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Jackie.
Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for being here. So today we are talking about 3 topics actually. And Araba, what are we talking about?
The first, which is important and alarming, is the increasing cases of teenage pregnancies. I mean, young teenage girls becoming pregnant. And we're not seeing a stop to this. Why is that the case? And what's the cause of all of this? So that's one of the issues we'll be discussing.
Right. And now, what's our next topic?
We're also going to look at faking love for personal gains.
Whoa.
Who is to blame? So would you want to have it all, even if you don't love the person? You just chuck yourself at some one corner just to enjoy everything that is coming out of it? We'll find out.
Definitely. And our guest, who is a church girl, will tell us our next topic, our third topic.
Okay, so the third topic is taxes and how it relates to churches. So should churches be taxed?
Okay, so we'll be asking all these questions. But guess what? These ladies, they are so educated, so they give you everything. Let me tell you, like they break it down like nobody's business.
Sister.
I mean, when they talk, they
Sister.
But let's start off with our very first conversation: the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy in Ghana. Now, what is the problem? I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if Araba has done her research, but Jackie, let me take your opinion on it first. What do you think could be the reason why there's so much increased cases in teenage pregnancy lately?
So I would think that it is poverty. It's an underlining factor, poverty. There's definitely today a certain level of exposure that our Gen Zs have. They would fall really under the teenage category. So it's the level of exposure. It's like lately, even if it's maybe a music video or a movie, there is so much sensuality and there's so much for them to want to know. So out of curiosity, they may want to try something. So that is there, that level of exposure. Then there's also poverty. I would say exposure because you definitely have teenagers who are not poor or who don't need anything, who have food on their table, clothes on their back, shelter, and then security and all of that. But they are keen to want to know things. So then it's that level of exposure. But when it comes to poverty, I think that some of the young girls are taken advantage of because they need money to go to school or just to put food on their table. So you would see that there would be a man who sees a very nice young girl, beautiful, budding, and she needs help and just takes advantage of her. And they're ignorant, and so they don't know how to protect themselves. So it ends in pregnancy.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Now?
Okay, so I was thinking, is it that parents are too busy chasing careers, so they don't focus on their children? Their mind is not really centered on what their kids are doing, because sometimes you see the parents are out looking for money because of businesses. And I'm also thinking, is it our educational system lately?
Let's put a pulse on this and we'll take a quick break when we come back because you have a lot to talk about and I don't want to hold everybody with our thoughts. So let's go on a quick break. When we come back, now we'll delve into this particular conversation. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Sixth Sense. This is where you get to hear the perspective of intelligent women on a wide range of issues. And like my darling here said, she said, we're going to be talking about...
Mama just said, darling. Where did I sleep today?
As Rosalind said, that's simple. Don't you
darling
prefer
was
darling?
nice.
Okay, all right. My darling Rosling said we're going to be discussing the issue of teenage pregnancy in Ghana. Statistics show that, the rate of teenage pregnancy is going up. It's on the rise. We don't have the actual numbers because we did some research, but we weren't able to get the year-to-date statistics currently on this particular trend. But it's alarming. It's going up. What is the problem? Who is to blame? Is it the parents? Is it the teenagers themselves? Who is to blame? I mean, I did some research, and now you would know this. There was a research done in Jamestown.
Okay.
They said part of this problem is cultural, because in some areas, when you hit a certain age, teenage age, and you haven't given birth, you are...
There's a problem somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're disrespected, you're looked down upon. So you
Jamestown here.
see...
You mean Jamestown here?
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Jamestown.
That's,
Yeah,
that's,
Jamestown.
that's a
Wow.
discovery.
It's before, not now. Things have changed with Jamestown.
Okay.
Where in my submission, I was mentioning some few things, but the areas, I was coming to the areas that you can find these teenage pregnancies, on rampant. And one is Jamestown, like you rightly said. But now, before, what you said is right. Before, if you are not pregnant at a certain age, it means that...
At what age?
I can't tell. I don't want to just mention any figure,
Okay,
but...
per the research that I read, I think it was authored by UNFPA. They said as young as 11. 11 years
I was
old.
going to say 15.
No, 11 years old. This is what they found.
But that's supposed to be teenage pregnancy.
Teenage,
And
yeah.
the age.
Exactly. So
They're
this
not
is
even
even
teenagers.
younger
Maybe
than 13.
adolescent, or they call themselves
exactly.
tween now pregnancy.
Exactly. So, I mean, they haven't even reached 13,
Teen.
and even 13 is alarming. So I wonder why
And
this
it's like fashion over there.
No, but
it's
why?
fashion
What's
because
the rationale for this cultural trend? I don't know. Why?
they want to see if Kwe is powerful enough.
What is that?
Or
Who is Kwe?
Kwe is a Ghana name. So they want to see if Kwe is powerful enough to pump something into some other girl. If Shoko is also fertile enough to. So then before...
So it's just about producing children?
Before it was like
That's
that,
what
but now I think things have really changed over there. I know of Jamestown, Choco, and some other few areas.
To
but
test potency.
But
they can't
test
test the potency when they marry.
No, but the thing is, do they not do the puberty rites? I thought it was part of tradition for you to do the puberty rites, ga, dangwe, and then they make sure that you are still a virgin. You go
That's
and get married.
dangbe.
Oh, okay,
It's
so
not
that's
like-
not
yeah.
okay. All right.
So the
Yeah.
Soko area is different.
So that's
No,
one
I-
of the causes, this cultural thing that, per certain age, you need to start engaging in sexual relations and have children, or rather you need to start reproducing. But as you say, that is changing now. But I think another
like
issue,
Jackie said, sometimes poverty. So if the parents look at the terrain and I know that I cannot take care of you to the senior high level, then I would rather allow you to do what you want to do. Probably the other guy who is a carpenter or the other guy who is a mason can take care of you because the parents do not have the means. So poverty, like she said, counts. Yeah, as well as every time you see the parents probably going to work, like I mentioned. So you don't really look at them, what exactly they are doing, and peer pressure also.
Definitely
Peer pressure.
Another area where a teenage pregnancy is rampant is the central region. Yeah, there
Exactly,
was
yes.
central
Yes,
region,
in recent
especially
times.
Cape Coast. Yes, there was some research to show that a lot of girls were getting pregnant, and I was wondering why. This is the cradle of education. You would think that they know better, but speaking to the parents and the children themselves, what the researchers found was that the parents and the children, they don't discuss sex. So the children go and they are curious about
That's
it,
true.
and they go and experiment,
That's true.
and then they end up pregnant.
Yeah.
But the
Curiosity.
question here is how many parents are comfortable enough to even talk about sex with their children?
That's the thing.
Because it's not, look,
It's a culture thing.
call a spade a spade. It's not easy. I mean,
It's not.
I am not just sitting down with my daughter and say, yo, do this, do that. That is like,
I mean,
So you
even,
can't
even
tell-
if you're watching,
No, I
you're
can
watching
tell you,
television and there is
I can
a
tell you
kissing
that,
scene, you know what we do.
Exactly. I can tell you that, don't do it is bad. But I can't really discuss sex with my child. I mean,
I think it's
But
about
it's
time.
the angle that you
I think it's about time. You see, the thing is,
we have to, but
they
have to
they
know.
know
Yes.
Yes.
They know.
They know.
They know.
But they think
So
we think they don't.
We think they don't know.
We know
So
they know.
I heard a story of a lady who was going to have the sex conversation
Yes.
with her daughter. I think just about 12 years. And then she says, we're going to have a conversation about sex tonight. And then the daughter says, what do you want to know?
Oh wow!
Exactly.
Meaning that she knows almost everything.
They know.
There is to know. Yeah.
So we need to just basically do our best to have this conversation and steer them in the right direction.
Right.
They should know about STDs by this time. They should know about pregnancy. The thing is, if you don't tell them, they're going to find out anyway. And where the information will come from could expose them to things that they're not sure of, and they can't ask you. And the thing is, I think that the world has changed. Let's face it. Things have really changed.
Yeah.
There's so much exposure out there.
Yeah.
The thing is, look, your child goes to school. You don't know who they're playing with, okay? They are playing with people whose cousins have tried all sorts with them. They are playing with children who have walked in on their parents in the act. They are playing with children exposed to all kinds of things, and they have conversations.
Yeah.
So you need to talk about it and then ask them what's going on. I think we just have to be intentional. It's not easy,
have
but
to.
we have
it's
to.
Not it's not easy. Probably it's what we say to them. Yes, I can tell you that there's STD, be careful. I can say stay away from the boys, or boys stay away from the girls. I can say these things, but probably the details
Without giving
of
reasons why you need to
the
stay away
details
from
of
them.
pregnancy.
It also
But
goes
it's about
to
time we
all of that.
open up
It
to
also
them.
goes to the relationship between the parent and
Yeah.
the child.
And the
child.
You need to develop that trust. So that
Yes.
the child trusts you, because
To
the child
open
is
up.
vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go out there if
your
they
children-
do something
you
and they don't
also
trust you.
need
They'll
to
come
tell
to you
them-
and tell
Yes.
you.
We tell them that you could get STDs, you could
Yes.
get pregnant,
Yes.
but we don't tell them the pleasure.
That's where the issue
You
is.
need to tell them.
That's where the issue
We
is.
need
What-
to tell them about the pleasure.
You have to tell them, because we leave that out. And their friends are going to say, yes, you will get pregnant, but there's this feeling that
Yeah.
you get.
Yeah.
So you need to tell them.
About the pleasure. How would you tell your girl child?
That's why we're
How would
here.
you do
Let's
that?
have this
Let's
conversation.
have an
No,
example.
we need to craft
That's a
this.
very difficult conversation to
now-
have.
now it's difficult
Imagine,
for you.
imagine the
easy.
scenario. I
Let's,
don't
no,
have a
let's
child.
put it.
It's
in-
not
let's
easy.
put it in
Right.
perspective. But you have nieces, you have
I do.
nephews.
That's what I'm saying.
And
I'm just
then-
saying, let's
yeah.
paint a scenario. So you have your daughter with you or your niece, and you want to, broach the subject. How do you even start at all? First of
I
all, there
want
must
to
be
talk about
that
sex
trust.
with you. Sit down. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Exactly. You don't start by saying, hey, so who is your boyfriend
So,
in school?
I'm your girl child. So
I think
let's talk about
role
sex.
play.
Jackie is the one who
Okay,
is
so-
expert in this.
okay, so-
No, how am I an
So,
expert in
so
it?
mommy,
She has
mommy,
a daughter as
mommy, you
well.
are asking me, you are telling me we should talk about sex. What is sex?
She knows what sex is, first of
Okay,
all. but-
so this is this. I leveraged the menstruation scenario to have that conversation.
Right.
So I go out, I come back, and then the nanny says, "We're bunensa," and I'm like, at this age, you are 11. What did you climb? And then he's like, "Oh, mommy, I'm menstruating." I was like, "Ooh, okay." So I'm like, "Okay, so what did you do?" And then she says to me, "Well, Miss this in her school has told us all about it, so I did this and this and this and that." I'm like, "Okay."
Job done.
Yeah. So I said, okay, fine. And you have to take care of yourself. Have you talked about sex? And then you know that this is a time you procreate. Says, yes, they taught us this, and that. And I asked, I said, so what is the worst thing you've been exposed to? And then she says, oh, how do I said, oh, on the internet, have you seen any graphics? What have you talked about? And she told me some things. She mentioned something that I had never heard before.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. My heart skipped a bit. And I said, listen, you can trust me. There's nobody in this world who loves you more than I do. Even if you got in trouble, I should be the person that you come to. I'm going to shield you. You can't trust your friends. They don't even care about you. And they're going to tell everybody your business. So you tell me. So she said to me, oh, a friend of hers told her about this is a site. I don't know. Do you want me to mention that? I don't know. Well, maybe not. So
mention it.
So
Mention it.
I
Okay,
went
it's okay
to
to
this
mention the
site, and then I said, "Oh, but when your friend mentioned it, did you follow through?" She said, "No," and I said, "Are you sure?" She
Was
said,
it a
"Oh,
porn
yes."
site?
It's a cartoon porn.
Wow.
Yes.
What's the name
We
of
talked
the site?
about some of these
It's,
things.
it's called hentai.
Wow.
Yes. Have you heard it before?
No.
They know. So I said, so what have you seen beyond this? Then I said, look, pornography, we talked a bit about pornography and how it takes over your mind. You'll not be able to think, you can't be intelligent, and it gives you certain desires. And I said, look, the things that you see there, some of them are acted. So I kept asking, what did you see? She told me a few things, some graphics that the friend talked about. She's 11. And listen, what got me was the fact that the friend went to the site, I don't remember, with some secure something. You know how you can check where they've been so that you look at the history.
Yeah.
So there's a way of going onto a site and the history is cleared. So you think they don't know. So we had the conversation and I said, look, there's this pleasure that comes with it and everything. And it wasn't easy for me. But as I was saying it, I was just praying and asking God that let me just tell me what to say at this time. And you need to follow up. So we're watching a movie and there's a scene coming and it's like, are they going to do it? I'm like, you know these days. Well, don't look. It's not the best for you.
Right.
But we have to be real. The things they know. Have you heard this site before? I hadn't.
No, myself, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Hentai.
Yeah.
Where am I going to hear it from?
This is the first
Exactly.
time.
And so the
You
question
need to have
for
a
me,
conversation with your
the question
daughter.
for me is,
Araba,
how did this other person hear of this? How do they know that you go to a
Yes.
site and then you clear what is there?
So maybe, I mean, they
We
share
need to-
information.
We need to tell them. And the conversation was had openly. It was had openly with other, and then she said, oh, this person was even there, and this person was even there, and then, so I said, I gave the guidance.
Goes to school
And so
comes back
out
home
of
without going
because there's
anywhere
no
else.
guidance, out of ignorance, that's where the men lure them
Exactly.
and then gets them
No, and
pregnant.
if they have ever seen any graphics or they've heard stories, they will hear stories of how pleasurable it is.
Yes.
So
And they'll be
we
curious
need,
to taste
we
it.
need to let them know that you might not be able to give details. I remember it was on Joy FM actually.
Yeah.
Somebody was driving their children to school and it was on Joy. I think the presenter mentioned the word orgasm. So their child, 6-year-old, says, Daddy, what's orgasm? And then you are stuck. we have to find ways. I remember a friend of mine was telling me, there's a book, I don't remember. So at every stage in the child's life, at 3 years old, there's something small about sex they need to know. At 6, at 10, we need to find that out and we need to tell them. But I don't think we should do 3 years. We should just go because they've gone ahead of us.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah,
and
they have
let's
gone
not be too hard on them.
Yeah.
I think, Araba, like you said,
That
they
I
need
agree.
to trust
Exactly.
us.
They need to trust us. Exactly.
They need to
so
trust
the point
us.
I'm trying to make, just before you
Yeah.
come through it, I mean, Jackie mentioned poverty at first. We've also, cited, how do you call it, cultural issues
Yes.
as part of the courses. But the
And
underlying
curiosity.
issue and curiosity. But the underlying thing is for parents to have that sort of trust with their
Yeah,
children,
yeah.
so they can discuss these things with them
Yeah.
easily. It's not easy, but
It's
when
not
that
easy.
trust
So
is
that's what I was going to
established,
There should
say.
be a way
it's,
out.
It's
You can
never
go ahead
easy
and
for
do it.
you to do it. But like Jackie said, she's told us, some of the things and the ways in which you can actually speak to your child about it. Because it's never easy. It's not. I mean, this is something that even you as an adult, when you were growing up, you were told it was a sin and all of that. So as a Christian, you sometimes struggle because you want to tell your child abstinence. Now it's like, okay, so you now have to break it to the child and let the child know that there is a reality on the ground, which is quite difficult. So I think it's a very good advice, I must say, that you've given to us. And as parents out there, every parent watching, it's time for us to, take the bull by its horn, speak to our children, no matter how difficult it is, because this site, I'm surprised. I'm surprised about this site, I must
So
say.
definitely,
But you see, she wouldn't open up if I
you
didn't
don't-
have her. Let
it
her
should be a friendly
relaxed.
conversation.
It should be a friendly, and I
shouldn't be
didn't judge. And I said, look, there's nothing wrong with it. There are a lot of children exposed to so many things, and they don't even talk about it. So you give them the guidance.
Right.
And I think that there should be that unity of command, where there's consistency. When she goes to Auntie Araba, or there's a party and she sits with Auntie Araba, there's consistency.
Yeah.
When she sits with Auntie Na, there's consistency. When she sits with Auntie Rosalind, there's consistency. and we're doing this together with the teachers, Sunday school teachers, or if they go to is it Makaranta or I don't know. We need to do this, the traditional settings.
I think in the past, Sunday schools were so strong. I don't know how it is now because I'm no more in Sunday school. But some of us picked our values from Sunday school.
But they didn't tell us about
They
sex,
didn't tell
though.
us about sex,
No.
but they made us know that we have to abstain.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, we were
think
not
there
even
should be
because you
something in
were told that if you do it, you go to hell. Jesus will be angry with you. So you don't even want to do it at all. You know, so they work on our psychology. You,
The psychology, that's it. The psychology. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on and on on this topic because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But there's an
No, they
more
talk about
interesting-
puberty and the begin to grow in certain places.
And that's it.
You need to
certain
know that
levels.
you're an
That's it,
adolescent.
yes.
now.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
It doesn't go beyond
Okay, we need to
that.
wrap up this discussion and take a short break because the next discussion coming up, you don't want to miss it. Now, give us a teaser.
So we are looking at fake love. You know, people want something from somebody because you have it. I'm going to cling to you so that I can get it from you, but not because I love you. We're going for a break. When we come back, we'll look into this. Welcome back. You're still watching The Sixth Sense here on Joy Prime TV, and we've been discussing the increasing cases of teenage pregnancy in Ghana. And now we're looking into another serious, very sensitive topic, fake love. Have you ever faked love? Rosalind,
I don't fake love.
Araba,
I don't fake. I can't fake. I'm
Jackie,
sorry. When I don't like you, I
have
don't
you
like
faked
you.
love?
Me, that's how I am. Araba knows.
Okay,
this.
let me
When I
just
don't like
add
you, I don't
four.
like you.
Exactly, I know it very well.
Let me just add for personal gains.
Yeah.
How about for personal gains? Let's not be so holy here. How about for personal gains?
No, I can't fake
Personal
it. I can't.
gains.
Even for personal gains, I'm
So
sorry.
love is broad,
Love is
right?
broad.
It's so broad. Which love are you talking about?
The love that you and the person
loving of it.
would,
Like
you
when
know,
people
Lovey and all
do
of that.
whatever it takes to get rich. So
Yeah.
if you meet a guy, he's rich, and you know you meet another guy, he's not so rich, but you like the guy who's not
is
so
rich
rich, but he doesn't
because-
have money, and you look at the guy who's rich, and you realize, I can get all of these things.
Yeah.
Then you ditch the poor guy for the rich guy, but you
rich
really
guy.
don't love the
You
rich
really
guy.
don't love
You
him.
are just with him for the
They'll
money.
say the love will come. That's
This
what
is
they
what I'll
say.
say. Like our society is getting more materialistic by the day.
Very.
It's like the more you have, and there's some sort of competition. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's so materialistic. It's
see,
terrible.
It's very terrible. You see, it's the economy. Let me put it like that. It's social media. It's pressure from we, the TV presenters as well. I don't blame just the people out there because we don't even portray the life that, you know, life is normal for us. People think that if you're on TV, you are on a certain level. Hence, everybody wants to be like you. So even if they meet somebody who is showing them pure love, no, I want to be like Araba. And Araba's boyfriend bought her a Benz. Probably boyfriend didn't buy her a Benz.
For the record, my boyfriend has not bought me a Benz. I bought my own car. Thank you.
I saw this coming.
Please continue.
I saw this coming.
I had to chip that in. It was very necessary.
Just for the record.
Right.
No, I'm saying, okay, you didn't let me land. I was
Okay,
saying that
please
people
land.
will think your boyfriend bought you, but you bought yourself the car.
But you even said Benz.
Benz. Benz is not in yet, so you don't worry. So, you know, and it happens where people feel like, let's do it because of what we've seen. On social media, people are living the fake life. They are actually buying, you know, cars, renting cars, making people feel that they own their car. So you know your classmates who probably close to nothing, all of a sudden is driving a Range Rover and all of that. So if you meet somebody, a person showing you genuine love, you don't want it because you want who can buy you, the fraud boys, who can buy you this car quickly, who can give you that life, who can take you abroad. So that is why ladies of today or men of today are being opportunistic because you look at the thing, you're like, nah, I can't be last. I can't.
Hey, last how?
No, I'm sorry.
Everyone is gaining something except
The
you.
race for the woman's
Everybody
heart.
has the race, you know. So that's what's happening. But hey, me, like I said, I can't fake love.
But the
But I
question
think
to
it's
the
a
men
trend.
also who are looking at these, okay, let's assume it's the women who are trying to
Both are.
be fake. Okay.
Both are.
I'm just painting
Araba.
a
In recent
scenario.
times.
Araba.
I'm just painting a scenario.
Men and
Let's-
women.
I know. I'm just painting a scenario.
Right.
So let's assume that the woman is the one who's faking the love for the man's
Money.
riches, so that she'll be, satisfied or whatever it is that she decides to go for the rich man for. So, if in such a case, can the man not see through her actions? That he doesn't, that she doesn't love him
Can you see through
for
a woman's
him,
actions?
but for his riches.
Araba,
not
people can do
before.
whatever it takes, and you never suspect that
Like what?
the person. Oh, I can show you love. You might think that is genuine. I will do everything for you. You call me, hi, honey. I'm here. I'm coming. I'll do this for you. Everything.
Because of
You would
money.
not know. People
I
really are
think
doing
that
this.
it takes time, eventually. You see, there are certain things, certain lines of conversations will come up. Somebody says they love you very much. And there are certain mannerisms of yours that they can't stand. It's a part of you. Sometimes it will show. You need to pick those signals here and there.
Their reaction
But
to those
their reaction to
marks.
those things.
Yeah.
But let me be a bit controversial. Is it really, really bad for a woman to decide that there are two guys, I'm of age, I should get married, there are two guys who want to marry me, and I like guy A for so reasons, guy B for those reasons, but guy B comes with a plus because
He has more money.
he's rich, or he has potential. He has a certain level of education, or he comes from a certain background, or has something. You see, because you see, this love that we're talking about, love is strong. You watch all these kind of movies and everything, but when there is no money, you're gonna fight. Sometimes you say very mean things to yourself, and you could end up apart. A friend of mine said to me, "Oh, my girlfriend and I, we were so much in love. You see, it's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. So I would say that you shouldn't fake it. You really shouldn't fake it. It's very important that you care for this person. And if you know that there's no room in your heart at all for the person, you shouldn't go. You will definitely find a certain rich person that you would love,
Right.
or somebody who has that potential, or gives you that security of a home, of a decent life, so to
Yeah.
speak. Not luxury per se, but a decent life. Because it's not fair on the man or on the woman. And if you really don't care about the person, in relationships, it's not even about marriage. Ultimately, we would like that it ends in marriage so that, because we're Africans, we like that and everything. But you see, not marriage necessarily, but there are so many changing scenes of life. Life happens. And so if the love is not there to a certain extent, you might not be able to be there for the person.
Yeah.
You see, and it will show eventually. It will
And
just show.
this faking thing, I don't know how long you can fake for if you don't love somebody. Or synchronizing who you
I'm thinking, you see, this
Exactly.
is a trend right now. There are some ladies, okay, I heard of a lady who said that I took care of this guy, I did everything for the guy, and at the end of the day, he left me and went for another a guy. And so in this girl's mind now, I'm not going for a poor guy anymore, because if you go for them, and then you help them, at the end of the day, they're just going to let you go. And then, exactly. So now, I want rich guy. The poor guy never gave me anything. I gave the person, and the person left. So now, let me go for the rich guy. If he leaves me, I have something. That is the thing.
rich guy out of love, or you are going to fake to the rich
Fake.
guy? You see, that's where
Fake.
the issue is, because marriage is a very, very long way. Hey,
The person will not even marry you, so don't even get there.
So the thing is, if you know you're going to fake, don't enter. Don't. They will tell you it will grow. The challenges in marriage, if you are thinking love will grow, it takes a lot. So you need to at least have some sort of likeness towards the person.
Yeah.
even if you don't love the person, like the person, where you know that because of what the person is doing, eventually the love will come. But if you don't like the person at all, and you're just going in there because you want the money, because you want to secure the future of your children, then the chances of divorce is very high.
Don't go too far with marriage. The plan is to fake, to gain something. So amongst themselves, amongst girls, among boys, they've discussed, oh, we're there for maybe 3-4 years. I would have gotten what I want. Now,
why will I date you for 3-4 years?
The plan is
But
to
that's
fake.
their plan. That's what she's saying.
That's the plan. So
their
it's not for
They don't
marriage. That's why I
intend
said,
to
don't
have a
even
settle
long-term
down.
relationship
Exactly.
with them. For them, they have planned in
That
their
is
mind
the
that this is what I'm
plan.
getting from this person. By the end of 4 years, I would have set myself up enough
And believe it
to
or
be
not,
independent, to move
people
to the
are
other
doing
person
that.
who I really love. Perhaps that's their plan.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right?
See, the thing
But,
is
but,
that
but you
the
should also
world-
blame some of the men. I mean, the way they portray themselves, they have all the money. So why won't the girls flock to you and pretend that they love you? What about that too?
The world is not fair. My question to us, Rosalind, Araba, is that for this conversation, where do we want it to end? At the end of the day, what do we want our audience to remember? What's like, if this is a story we're telling, what's the moral of the story? At the end of the day, the world is not fair. It will continue to be like this. People will do this, people will do that. But maybe what we would want to say is that you should not fake it.
Love for love.
Even if it's not a relationship that's going to end in marriage, it's just not fair on the other person.
Going genuinely.
And the money will not be there all the time. Life happens. Anything can happen to this money. Look at COVID happened, and there are lots of disruptions in the world, like in industries. Uber has come to disrupt taxis, Airbnb hotels. There could be such a shift that this money is not coming again. But then that means that they jump onto the next person, right? Because it's a project.
And you know, you can end up in jail as well, because I think 2 days ago there was a young lady who's been arrested. I don't know if any of you heard it, because she was helping her boyfriend with fraud.
Right. Yeah.
And
Was she arrested alongside her mother?
Yes.
Okay, in the US.
And guess what? She had a baby just about 3 months ago for this boy.
Oh,
So what's happening to the 2 children? She has 2 children with a boy. They are married though.
Wow.
Yes. So you ask yourself so many questions, because he gave her the luxury. She was always in Dubai. She was flying to America, living the ish life. Like if you see her, Charlie, you want to be like
They
her.
call it the soft life.
The soft life.
the soft life.
You want to be like her. By the end of the day, look at where she's ended up. Is that what you want? I don't know if she was faking the love or not.
I think
I'm
one
just
of
looking
these
at the
days
monetary
we should treat the soft life as a topic on its own, because it seems like that's what people are trying to attain without the hard work.
The hard work.
Yeah, a lot of people put in the work before they enjoy, you know, the fruits
And
of their
Araba,
labor.
I want to
but
add-
people just want to they see all of this and they want to partake in it without
That's
putting in
that's
the
why I
work.
said
Sometimes
that
the work
you
is too
on
hard.
TV, do you tell the truth? You on TV, are you letting? Because Araba, you might. I'm just using that as an example, okay? But we that we sit on TV, that people look up to us to be like us. We have our colleagues who are living the soft life. Our colleagues are living the soft life. Our colleagues are living the fake life. They're telling the different story to the
I'm
world.
saying this, people are doing it.
That's what's happening.
And one thing I want to add is that we should also consider the source of the wealth of the one that you want to fake that love to. You
It's
are going
very
in
important.
negatively. The person too is having the source of
It's
the money
very important.
negatively. Think about, you know, the aftermath.
Right.
We are not doing
you
that.
Know, do you know that a lot of
Some people
a lot
don't
of these
care.
guys are armed robbers?
No, I've actually
really?
heard.
Isn't that alone?
Do you have
There's so
any
many things
evidence?
people
They do
do.
all kind. Oh,
That's
they
why
do
you
all
need
There's
to
so
sorts.
many things people do.
So I heard a lady say that, look, if the man is a gangster and she can get the money, why not? She doesn't care. People just can't be bothered. But it's very important to know the source, because sometimes at the end of the day, you can lose everything at once.
Yeah.
Like this girl ended up
Yeah.
in jail.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know the source of the money. But just
But the problem is that sometimes they know the source of the money, but they don't care because
oh yes,
of that is the
absolutely.
fact that they get
That's
to
what
enjoy.
absolutely love.
There's
Those
this
with the plan.
Instagram,
Those with
there's
the plan.
a reel that I saw, I think today. So the voice in the background says, why are you asking the source of our wealth? when we were poor, did you ask the source of our poverty?
Yes.
So, yeah,
It's
It's
important.
it's quite sad that most girls or most men these days have
There's
become
competition.
so
Chroma is
opportunistic. All they think about is living the soft life, like Araba said, and hence they will do anything. They will go in there faking the love, go in there, robbing people of their hard work just to make sure that they please other people. But if you don't love somebody, please don't fake it. That's the end. Don't fake it. And like Jackie said, you know what? You meet somebody who has the money and you love the person. So just relax. We have to go for a quick commercial break because the money has to come in. So we'll be right back after this break. And when we come back, we'll delve into the church conversation. Stay with us.
You're watching The Sixth Sense, and our next topic is very interesting. So the question is, should churches be obliged to pay taxes? In this era of the e-levy and then all of that, it's
Very
an interesting
controversial topic.
conversation. Should churches be obliged to pay taxes? I'm glad that I am glad that I actually am introducing this section. So I will decide who goes first. Rosalind, it's on you.
Okay, so if you ask me this, I'll say yes and no. Why? I think that some churches, not all churches, currently are running the church like a business. And if you look at our constitution, every business must pay tax. And when we work, we take the offering to church, hoping that it goes to God. But of course, it goes to man. We know. It's a fact. It
Not
goes
all
to
the
God.
time.
It goes to God, but it goes to man. Man receives it. The spirit can't receive the money.
Use it to build the temple.
We receive it to build the temple of God, to build the work of God. We understand. It's all right. But then again, we also use it, part of it will go into our pockets. Hence, I feel that if I am paying tax, I'm a taxpayer and I'm coming to church and I put my offering on the altar. Yes, it's okay for you to also pay the tax on it. It's just okay. Again, reasons why I say this. Some people have decided, and it's not everyone, not all churches, they are using this church business as a mode of transacting fraud. Fraud.
Please explain.
Okay, so this is it. They hardly tax churches.
Yes.
They don't even tax
They don't
them.
tax it.
So hardly do they monitor even the money transactions coming into their accounts and everything. So if the money comes in there and it says, oh, it's an offering from someone, how will you know? Declare the money, oh, offering, oh, gifts. So at the end of the day, people use the church, you're kind of simple. You are the banker.
So what?
The account, the church account at the bank, they use it to transact such businesses because it's quite difficult for you to be able to trace, the source of the money. Because all you can say is it's a gift and you can't challenge it. So I think that some churches must be taxed. Now, if you come to the whole thing of not being taxed again, we're giving our money to the work of God, and you don't want a situation whereby Nyame Ejuma, it will not go on because it's being taxed. Some are receiving as little as 100 cedis a week. Some churches are, we must say, some are receiving close to nothing. You see some of the pastors, and they have nothing. They're just trying to help the people out there. So in such instance, I think those churches must not be taxed. But 80% of the churches must be taxed.
80%. How did you come by that statistic? I did my own. Interesting. Speaking of churches and this particular issue, recently this man of God, Dr. Lawrence Tete, I'm sure we all know
a very good friend of mine.
Yes. He spoke to a radio station about this, and he said that very ignorant people wake up and say that the church should be taxed. That is an insult. From the economic point of view, that is double taxation. What does he mean by that? He feels that the church has contributed over the years, to society, building schools and all of that, contributing
build
to
schools. We also build schools. We all contribute to build schools.
Well, that is his argument. You can choose to disagree with him.
I love you, Papa, but it's not just the churches building schools.
So I mean, it goes both ways. You can agree and disagree. you know. This is his argument, that the church already contributes to society. So taxing them, it will be double taxation.
You know,
like how some people are also arguing that e-levy is double taxation.
Yeah, exactly.
So he
But
thinks
you
this
know,
is it.
even the churches that have the schools, it's not all churches that have schools. We have a lot of young churches springing up lately. They even take most of the monies and they don't have schools. They don't have
Which is
anything.
why people are
Calling for it.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are,
Because when we look at
they are
it-
embracing the idea of churches being taxed because they see all these mushroom churches springing up, you know, taking advantage of vulnerable people. Of course, I mean, some people argue that nobody puts a gun to your head to go to a church.
Yeah.
But
You're
people
looking
are
for the
vulnerable and
miracle.
people take
I'm
advantage of people's
looking for that
vulnerability. So
miracle.
how do you regulate? You can't regulate, you know, the church.
Okay, if we're going to, you see, the thing is, we need to agree, okay? If the government is going to do something, is going to do the tax or they're not. We can't tax 80% and leave the
Oh
others.
yes. So if I say 80%,
I
I'm trying to say
was
my
going to say the same
pastor
thing.
is watching. My pastor is watching, so I have to say it like that.
Jackie,
Well, 80% tells you that
I was
you better tax
coming to
them.
say
No,
the
but you
same
can't say
thing.
you are taxing 80% and leaving the 20%.
So
I
if you
want-
say
I want-
80%, it means that tax all. You can't leave
You know,
20%.
See,
You
I
have to
want to
tax
use
all.
numbers.
all.
Araba,
Yeah.
like Rosalind said, I wouldn't want to put figures on it, but I think some of the churches should be taxed whilst others left out because they are good ones. They are those who are really doing the work. Some have built schools, and my pastor, for instance, has a school, and he has about 50 or more people that are attending the school.
Are they paying school fees?
They're not. So that's what I'm saying. So you should, before our grandmothers, great grands, there wasn't something like tasking because all the, what do you call it? The fundraising, bring this, bring that. Kakra want to know their tomb. But lately, you know, they are looking at some figures. They start from a particular figure. Then if you do that, definitely people will see that as business. And like I said, some are buying big cars. People like that spot them and take the money from them. Let's ask them.
But they will tell you that it's a gift. People sow into their life.
That's what they say.
But people do.
You know my first of all, I would like to say that if there's going to be taxes at all, everybody has to be taxed. If there's a decision to tax, you see, tax, it's a bit.
It's fine.
The church.
I get you.
It's fine.
I think that Dr. Lawrence Tete, what he said about the church being taxed twice, in my opinion, the church is a body, right? So biblically, if you're a Christian, so Jesus is the bridegroom, the church is supposed to be the bride.
That's right.
We are the church. And we get our taxes paid, right? And then we go to church. So we've paid the tax already. We've paid, okay?
Makes sense.
When we go to church and then we put in the offering, the church pays for electricity. The church pays for water. Maybe they don't maintenance. Maybe they don't pay for property taxes or whatever. But once
People's needs.
well, and churches have built schools and then all of that. In my opinion, if there is any activity, if it comes down to the church being taxed, everybody should be taxed. Now, if there's any activity that the church, and it's definitely going to be human beings, we're the church, right? That the church does, that monetizes, you know, things that will bring in money.
Extra
So
income.
exactly. So maybe there's the church has a bookshop, for example, and it is registered as something bookshop within the church. It is a shop. You see, depending on the size, it falls under SME or something like that.
What
So-
do they argue
so-
that
so-
the
so they'll
proceeds from
pay-
the shop go
goes into
go
the
into the proceeds go into well, I mean philanthropic activities.
No, yes, that's fine. We get taxed. We all give to philanthropic activities. So a business is a business.
Right.
You see the multinationals, you see local companies paying their taxes and still giving back to society. So for the offerings, the preacher is a full-time pastor. Church administration, they get paid, right?
Yeah,
and it's,
sure.
it's biblical. The
Sure.
Levite
Sure.
has to be paid. Now, I read an article, and it was in reference to some conversation around one of the preachers in the USA. And they were actually suggesting that if the pastors are going to be paid, then just like us, a salary, they should be taxed as well. Because they use the roads, Abi,
Pastors are
the
not
street lights and then all of that. So if it comes down to that, then there are certain things that the church does. If it's something that they are monetizing, maybe like a record label, for example, is going to sell, they'll give back to society, they are helping us spiritually, but the artists are making money, right? It is still a business. So when we haven't paid our taxes, go to church and give the offering, I don't think we should be taxing the offering. If there are other things that the church is doing that is bringing in income, maybe that can be looked at if it comes down to
How
taxes.
how
But
about
the
the
church
poor?
is giving back.
How about the poor churches?
No, but what is who said?
Oh, there are some
why are you-
churches that are not making money like other churches.
No, but why are you poor? I don't no because
Your
because
target audience. Your target audience.
hey,
You are not
no,
doing
you see
Let's
when
be
we
real here.
wait,
There are
wait,
churches like that.
but when we
At the corner.
use Araba, when we use terminology like the target audience and then all of that, we are talking business.
Yeah.
And businesses are taxed, right? So you see, why is the church poor?
The
Why
other
you say
church
the church
business
poor?
is not-
making
it's
is
not
that
yielding.
If you have a mega church and you have a small church of, say, maybe just 50 people plus the
Araba.
pastor.
Tax
There
is
should be,
tax.
then there should be a criteria.
No.
There
they are
should be a
taxing. Let me
criteria.
tell you
When I
something.
spoke about the 80 and 20%, what I was trying to say is that when we look at the ratio, if you take consideration of voting and we say 80 and we say 20, what we are saying is overall, let's do it. So my 20-80 didn't mean that we are not doing it. I mean, my
Yeah.
pastor is watching, so I had to do that. But anyway, the 20, it means that we should tax. Why am I saying that? I agree with you on the fact that we are giving offering to them. Now, talking about the schools that Dr. Lorisetta said, and that's why I asked you this question. Are they paying school fees? Yes. Who's the money going to? So yes, you're building the
It's
schools,
for running the
but
school.
it's a business. It is not free. It's a business. They put up the schools and they take the money. The money doesn't go to the government. The money
I think
goes
to,
to
to a
them.
large extent, at least I know for some of the mega churches like
Yeah.
Central Gospel,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
they run their schools as
Yeah.
businesses, so they pay tax on that.
No,
The
they
church,
will.
you
That's-
see,
that's
you
it.
see
But I'm
the thing
saying-
is, the church, sorry to cut you in,
Yeah,
the
sure.
church has given back to society. Corporates have given back to society.
That is still paying.
Individuals
Everybody
have
has.
given back to
Everybody
And when you
has.
talk about a poor church, there are tax brackets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Depending on how
good.
much you earn.
Exactly.
Good.
So there are tax brackets,
Yes,
right?
good. Me-
So
Good. I
even,
get it
even
now.
in the Bible, you
Yes.
see, it is 10% of your earnings. So if it is $100 or 100 CDs, 10%. If you are earning 1,000,000 CDs, 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
just what you get, you
Yeah.
give back. So they are, but even that's not even quite a good example because 10% is flat. But when we talk about tax brackets, it could be 20, 25
Yeah.
to 30%.
Depending on how much you make.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't know what the government will say, but we ladies here, I think Jackie was making a point, now was making a point, Araba was making a point. I don't know if we have
Making a point
We've
about
not-
what exactly.
we've not really
I think
agreed
Jackie
on
is
one
swaying.
thing.
Jackie
I'm
is swaying
here, like-
towards
Gospel
taxing
musician.
the church, or
I like the
Well,
aspect.
you see, like I said, it depends on the activity.
Okay.
You see, it depends on the activity. You see, at the end of the day, that is where we're going. I think that eventually it will happen.
It will.
Eventually, it just might happen. Okay? But the thing is, we've paid our taxes. We've given the offering. The church is us. We've paid the tax already. But like I said, if there's a certain activity, something that the church is doing to monetize something,
Then we should
then
go ahead
maybe. So there's a concert, for example, tickets are sold. I know that there's a lot of planning and there's investment into the concert. But if it goes well, there's profit. You can decide to tax that, but not those offerings that the church is, using to give back, and then all of that. But I'm sure that as time goes on, there will be clear definitions. We have tax experts. conversations will go on, the Christian Council will come in, and eventually we'll settle on something.
Right, right. Me, mom, dear, I think that whatever offering goes in is like their salary they are receiving. Like we go to work, they go to work.
I told you
that's their
about
work.
the application.
yeah.
Pastors wanted.
Yes.
You should
Because that's
have
their work.
experience.
So that's quite interesting.
Absolutely, yes. Pastors
But
wanted.
what is
3
the
years
job
experience.
description?
Yes.
And so that's the person's specification.
Exactly. Oh, I should
3 years experience in what?
in
In
pastoring.
ministry.
In
That's how they say
pastoring,
ministry.
and then the salary was there. It was stated. The
Wow.
numbers were. It was underneath.
But it's actually a job, I must say. It's,
No, it is.
Because you need
And
to. You need
pastors are
to
Which
being
is why
paid
Jackie is
now.
saying once you're paid a salary
Yeah.
as a pastor,
Yeah.
you should pay taxes
That's
on it.
it. That's what I think too. Because I strongly believe that even if I bring my offering to you and I've been taxed on that offering, I still think that it's like me paying you for the job you've done. And if you are receiving your salary, you should
Preaching
pay
to you, praying for you,
It's still tax.
counseling you.
Still tax. Because if I go to work, I still have my
'Cause
bosses.
they are counselors,
My bosses
right?
will still help me. My teachers that teach me are taxed.
That's true. And the
So why
groomers.
Then the groomers, they are taxed.
Whatever the case is, I mean, the conversation must be had. We
It's
have to
quite
broach this
interesting.
subject.
Very
It's a very controversial one.
It is.
Everybody is uncomfortable
Very.
with it, especially the church.
That's why
and
they've
it's
not been able to do
understandable,
anything about
but
it.
the conversation must be had.
You know. Funny enough, if we tax churches, the
pastor will stop
they
praying
might
for
not.
you.
No, they might not complain because I don't think it will hit them that bad. They have money. Oh.
Some
You wait until the
pastors-
conversation
some
starts.
pastors,
And we begin the
Rosemary,
process of
not
taxing them.
all.
I'm not sure that they will.
It will
they
affect
wouldn't
some
mind.
pastors,
I'm
definitely.
not sure they wouldn't mind.
But then we have Jackie here. Jackie is a gospel musician. She has a new really out. Jackie,
It's a
tell us a
cover.
bit of it. It's a cover.
So it's a
New
cover.
release.
So it's a cover. When you sing somebody's song, your own rendition, it's a cover, and
it's a cover of what?
So it's
you
it's
did
a
a Sister
medley.
Wine
It's 3 songs put
Okay.
together. So it's a victory in Jesus. Songs that talk about the victory that we've won in Jesus Christ.
All my life.
So it's there's. Okay, now I've
You forgot your own songs?
No, they're not my songs.
All my life.
Okay,
you've
I
been
mean the
faithful.
covers.
You did that
the
one as well. You
covers.
did the
So I
cover.
wanted to mention the artist, but if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see that the credits are there
Okay.
for the artist. And
But you've forgotten the songs you did.
no, I haven't
no,
forgotten
yeah,
the
that's
songs,
one
the
to give
artist.
one everything.
Okay,
Yes,
don't want
like
to give
all the
everything
details.
away.
Because
Before
I
you
want
go
I
to
want you
YouTube
to
Oh, okay.
yes
Oh,
go and
okay.
then yes. You should just go.
But Jackie, of course,
And-
as we are talking about this, you have to sing one of your songs for us. But before then, we'll take our final words, everybody's final, take on it, and
the
then
issues that
we
we've
can go
discussed.
ahead and listen to Jackie's sweet voice. So now, you take.
Faking love. Please, it's not proper. It's not healthy. Any time you would want to go in for love, not the particular love, you know it's fake. Me and you, we know that what you are doing is fake. So please, look at the source of that wealth. Don't just rush into it, because the aftermath thereof, your life is very, very important. And not all riches are
Riches.
riches. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a quotable quote.
Not all riches
Not
are
all
riches.
riches
Jackie?
Okay, so I will touch on the teenage pregnancy. It's very, very important. The teenagers are the next generation, and the children they're bringing into the world will be the generation after them. And so if they don't come into the world at the right time, I mean, children are a blessing at whatever time, but I think that it should be done right so that both mother and child are catered for. Otherwise, like in the next, I don't know, maybe 100 years, when we probably won't be here, what will the world look like?
Exactly.
They may not have education, they may not have food, they may not have guidance. What will the world look like? So I think that whatever we can do from our very little corner, and I really appreciate Joy TV for this, that these conversations are being had. Let's continue to have these conversations. You are TV and radio celebrities or stars. How do you call yourselves? Yes. So
This is the celebrity.
So you are the celebrities.
I love that.
Whenever you have the opportunity
Yeah.
to talk about these things, let's talk about them. And I think that gradually, one day at a time,
Yeah.
we will be able to make impact and see the
agree.
change that we're looking to see. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with her because that was the topic I was also going to focus on. But I think that beyond what Jackie has said, it's important for parents to build that trust with their children. That's where it starts. Then they can open up to you because they are vulnerable at that age. They are being taken advantage of. So it's important for parents to, as difficult as it is, broach that subject so that you don't end up with children that you didn't plan for on your hands.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies. It's been a beautiful conversation. I think with regards to the teenage pregnancy cases, I think that, like Jackie said and like every other lady here said, we parents need to get closer to our children, love them, and make them feel comfortable around us so that we can get to talk to them more. Talking about the whole, you know, faking of the love, hey, don't fake it. You know what? I'm a strong believer that if you don't love someone, let the person go. Don't hurt the person. Go to the person you love so that you can be happy. And the final one, with the churches being taxed, I leave it to the government. For the ladies here, we think that some churches must be taxed. Others think that some churches must not be taxed. But hey, if you ask me, as Rosalind Felly, I think churches must be taxed. I know my pastors will come after me, but I think churches must be taxed. And it's time for us to have Jackie give us a beautiful tune before she
So what do
leaves.
you want to hear?
Which one do you want to give to us? We are ever ready.
Yes, we don't mind, but we just want to
I'll
hear
do the
your
dancing if it's
melodious
danceable.
voice.
We'll
No,
do
no,
the
no, it's
backup
not,
singing.
please.
I sing so well. Like I'm like,
Treble,
yeah.
but
What
alto,
part do you sing?
hey,
And then you
high tenor.
Okay, then why don't we all sing something that
Okay,
like
all right.
is
So you
popular,
start
something
for
like
us. You
we
start
all
something
know
popular, and
to
then we do the backup.
Okay, something that we can all
I'm
sing along.
bad when it comes to lyrics of songs.
So
That's
something,
my
no,
flaw.
something very simple. We can
All
sing
right.
a hymn.
Okay, so which
we
one?
all went to
hymn,
secondary school. We sang hymns,
All right.
right?
Okay.
It depends
So which
on
one
the
is your
hymn, but
favorite?
But you don't have lyrics. Give us the one you have
Yes,
lyrics.
exactly. Which one are you comfortable with?
No, you just come up with something. Don't worry. I'll
No,
Google it.
Araba,
I'll
it's
Google
on
it.
you.
Hey.
Okay, so
I'll
shall
Google
we
it.
let's
Give
give
her
her
a
a
minute.
minute.
Google is
Okay,
my
now,
friend.
Why are you
now
not
if you're
asking me?
ready.
Now, okay, now, what song do you want?
Let me get my microphone.
Okay. No, but she has to open the song.
Let-
So you're
Jay,
getting your
what song?
microphone.
What
Which
song are
song?
you-
Minimum. Oh my God. Should it be him?
Araba, what do you have?
I don't have anything.
Anything.
So you come
Then
up with
let's-
something.
let's
I'll
do-
Google the lyrics.
Let's
and
do
then
All
we'll
My
go
Life You've
from
Been
there.
Faithful.
You want all my
It's a
life?
song
You've
that,
been
I mean,
I don't have the
everybody-
lyrics
you
too
should
much,
know.
but we'll
Okay, so we'll sing the
try.
chorus. So all my life
Only
you
the
have been
chorus.
faithful. All my
Okay.
life you have been so
Okay, all right.
I'm ready with my microphone.
All right, so Jackie, you have to
All
start.
my life you have been faithful. All my life
Hey,
you
alto.
have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Woo! And this has been Success. We'll be back again next week, Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. But don't forget to go on YouTube and watch Jackie's latest as a cover to a lot of songs. And her name on there is Jackie Impari. My name is Rosalind Felly. I've been doing this with the beautiful,
Araba Kumsin.
the beautiful,
to
and of
Olenu.
course, our 60 winners in Ghana, Jackie Impari.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.